So we would like to start with, someone who is taking care of the HR department in a university because of which we are here. Someone who has made sure that the human resources in that very university, which has the legacy of such great people, and he is managing those great people and the employees of that university. So I would like to call on stage the HR head of Maharishi University of Information Technology, Mr. Sunil Mishra, who has been associated with Maharishi University for more than 20 years. And can I request our Director General Sir to please come and felicitate him.
In fact, I want to tell two things about him.
Sir, please.
I am as old in the university as he is. And the day I joined, I picked him up as my secretary and then made him HR head 18-20 years before. Two special qualities of his personality. Number one, not saying no. He will not say no either to the employee or to the prospective employee who has sent the CV. And CV is yet to be, remember, CV is yet to be scrutinized and shortlisted. He will not say no. Number two, the person will come and at the convenience of the person, he will tell me, sir, so-and-so will be coming at so-and-so time, sir, would you adjust your time? Third thing, Sunil, we want so-and-so to go. Enough is enough. He is just a household. I said, I leave it to you. He will organize in such a manner that the person who is going out will not feel upset because he will allow time to him for him to find a job for himself. Maybe 2 months, maybe 3 months, and maybe for that matter 15 days even. And he will come back and tell me, sir, I said 1 month is enough. No, sir. Let us give him 3 months, sir. And he will compulsorily ask me, give me a red pen. Sir, please write down there, 3 months notice period allowed. I keep on conducting FDPs, Faculty Development Program, and please take it from me that every time I will invite him to suggest to the people that I want all of you to be like him, like Sunil Mishra. He is an ideal employee, ideal HR person who understands the need of the people, need of the organization, as well as need of his superiors. God bless. Good luck.
Thank you so much, sir. And an employee can reach such heights and receive such gratitude only because the university has provided, that kind of a culture to its employees. So all the kudos goes to you also, sir, who has provided that, and all the, Vice Chancellor, sir, also. Now, moving forward, now I would like to, take this to the room first before getting into the panel discussion. So the next topic of, panel discussion is empowering tomorrow's workforce through AI, metaverse, and HR interaction. And before inviting our panelists on stage, can I have just, few liners, one line from some people. What do you mean by empowering your workforce? You are the people who actually take all the decisions. take all the calls, evaluate, analyze all the stuff, and then say, okay, this is right for my employees. Maybe to set the culture right, to set the tone right, or to make sure that the attrition rate is low. So what is empowerment for you? What is empowering your workforce? Anyone who would like to say? Free hand. Free hand as in free hand. Freedom to take this. Okay, thank you. Freedom to take this decision.
Removal of the process bureaucracy.
Removal of the process bureaucracy. That's also an empowerment. What else is? Yes, ma'am.
Giving exposure to different, segments, in the sense, let's say I'm from manufacturing, so to manufacturing, to sales, to HR, to finance. So if the person has exposure to all, they are empowered, I think.
हमारे ना थिएटर में एक चीज बोलते हैं कि जो सबसे मेजर चीज एक थिएटर करता है ना, वो एक 29 साल के व्यक्ति को, अगर वो रोल प्ले कर रहा है 80 साल के व्यक्ति का, तो अलाउ करता है उस रोल को जीते हुए उसकी वल्नरेबिलिटीज को समझने का. So I guess, ma'am, what you are saying is that when a person gets exposure to different aspects or departments of the same company, he feels the pain of that. He knows that he or she is not doing it personally, but because of X, Y, Z reason or the spaces. So the PIF which can happen, which can elevate, may not happen or may reduce. Am I right? What else? What is empowerment for you? Like, yes sir, please.
Actually, in my opinion, trust is empowerment and empowerment is trust. In case we are trusting the employees, we are giving them the empowerment.
क्या बात है? Nice, trust, nice, very nice, yeah. Okay. Any last words? Like one more person maybe? Okay.
It's depowering yourself, that's it.
Oh my God, that's beautiful, you know, depower yourself and power someone else. Okay, yes ma'am.
So मैं ये कहूँगी कि अपनी करियर की गाड़ी की ड्राइवर सीट पे एम्प्लॉय को बिठाना, that is empowerment.
Wow, wow. And absolutely, like I guess that's what all we have discussed, that how an AI cannot replace the HR. And I was just hearing someone who was saying that, well, you know, Mr. Raj was telling me, I've heard that one day will it be possible that a robot can replace me. And that was shared by Sandeep also, same thing, that will there come a day कि पूरी AI ने replace कर दिया. But the element, जैसे सुशील जी को आपने बोला, सुनील जी को, sorry, that he is the one who makes sure कि वो ये चीज ध्यान रखी जाए कि वो 3 महीने का टाइम पीरियड जिसके लिए जरूरी है, जिसका चूल्हा उसकी वजह से जल रहा है, अब वो शायद कोई AI अकाउंट में नहीं ले सकता, because that is the intangible which a human can take into account. And that's the beautiful work which an HR does. And with that, I would like to call upon stage the panelists for the discussion. And again, I'll start with their skill set, and then we'll take the name of that person. Vigyanik hai. She is a Vigyanik with experience in embedded systems, development and international exposure in the technology industry. Presently working at NIC headquarters in New Delhi, she worked as an embedded system developer at Samsung R&D Institute in Bangalore and has experience at Samsung headquarters in South Korea. She graduated with honors in CSE from HBTI Kanpur. She is none other than Preeti Gautam, Assistant Director, Scientist B, NIC. Can I please ask her to come on stage? The next panelist, please have a. So, ये वो है जो टैलेंट को परखती है, देखती है और उसके बाद हायर करती है. She is a talent acquisition professional with diverse experience in campus recruitment. खासकर उन बिना तराशे हुए हीरो को जिनको तराशने के बाद वो कंपनीज में प्रॉफिटेबल बनेंगे, वो एम्प्लॉयज और सब कुछ होगा. So, recruiting operations, recruiting programs and policies and stakeholder management. She has also worked in employee engagement for a brief stint. She has been recognized for exceptional work at some of the organizations and has gained knowledge and experience outside the area of recruitment or related coordination. See, she is a versatile talent acquisition professional with a wide range of skills and experience. May I have the pleasure of calling on stage Rishika Verma Vora, Managed Talent Acquisition Group, IGT Solutions. The next eminent personality whom I am going to call on stage, इन्हें दशक हो चुका है, एक दशक से ऊपर का समय हो चुका है एचआर के अंदर, आईआर के अंदर और एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन के अंदर, और बिल्कुल पकड़ है उनकी, हैंड्स ऑन एक्सपीरियंस है इन द एनर्जी एंड एजुकेशन सेक्टर्स. ही इज ऑल्सो होल्डर is an alumnus of XNRI Jamshedpur and KIIT Bhubaneswar, and has the ability to establish and maintain strong alliances, lead and motivate teams, drive projects to successful completion, and exceed customer expectations. He is an accomplished HR professional with a strong track record of success. May I have the pleasure of calling on stage Mr. Varinder Singh Pal, GMHR, Fortum. ये सर तालियां ना अगेन, मतलब खाना खाया हमने तो ज्यादा होनी चाहिए. थैंक यू सो मच. और नेक्स्ट पैनलिस्ट को एक्सपर्ट कहा जाता है कि वो उनकी एक्सपर्टीज है. एक्सपर्टीज किसमें है? उस चीज में जो बिजनेस के लिए सबसे ज्यादा फायदेमंद है, और वो है मार्केट रिसर्च एंड बिजनेस डेवलपमेंट, क्योंकि असली तो सबकी सैलरीज वहीं से निकलनी है. She is experienced in interacting with prospective clients, understanding their requirements and aligning them with candidate profiles and job descriptions. She is also involved in business development and relationship management with prospective clients. Now I have the honor of calling on stage Amir Singh Bagal, founder and managing director, AD Consulting and Limana. One of our panelists is not here, Mr. Sagar. And the next one I'm going to call on stage is someone जिन्हें दूसरी दशक पूरी होने वाली है, उनकी 19 साल से ज्यादा का एक्सपीरियंस है उस चीज में जिनकी तरफ हम सारे ऐसे करके देखते हैं, लीडरशिप, मैनेजमेंट एंड ट्रेनिंग. He has successfully managed over 21,000 young technocrats and students and led 50 train-the-trainer programs. He has also developed 100 plus customized training modules and run 5 campus transformation programs. Additionally, he has 5 plus years of experience in medical record retrieval services, specializing in self-management, skills training, professional development, and trainee need analysis. May I have the honor of calling on stage Mr. Abhishek, Learning Consultant, Project Manager. Thank you, and I will leave the stage to all of you.
A warm good afternoon, everybody. Anu Singh here, and I'm really honored to be the part of panelist, and thank you so much, sir, to trusting us. And we are basically into recruitment company, and we have a brand Amana where we do a lot of corporate events. So here, as a moderator, my first question to Mr. Virender: what are some of biggest challenges that companies may face in adopting AI and metaserve technology in HR interaction?
All right, good afternoon, everyone. I know it's a post-lunch session, tough to keep everybody engaged, but let's see how good we can do our jobs well today. I think AI and metaverse are two very happening topics. I will try to explain the challenges through some stories, because we believe that we all human beings are stories at the end of the day. I'll quote some examples of some stories that what challenges unfold before us. The first story that I would like to share is of a nephew of mine, and he's my brother's young kid who is 7 to 8 years old. And my brother always has been warning my bhabhi, saying that, look, this is a young kid, he always is busy on the phone and the tab, so you please lock your phone and keep the phone away from him, and ensure that you don't share the password, and make him stay away from phone. And this 7-year-old kid. One fine morning, he was in his office, and at around 11:30, there's a call that rings on his phone, which is from his wife's number. He picks up, and his son speaks, "When are you coming home?" And he was very disappointed, came back in the evening and told my bhabhi, "Look, I told you not to share the phone with the kid, and then you've again shared the password," and he called me up in the middle of a meeting. He said, I didn't share the password. How did he call you? And then when he asked his 7-year-old kid that how did you unlock the phone and come and ask us, the answer that the young kid gave was, my mama has an iPhone. I just switched on Siri, called my husband, and the phone got connected.
This is really good one.
Now, I think the biggest challenge that we all need to see today is, are we learning AI and metaverse, the future technologies from people around? The sad part in the corporate world today is we have seen boardrooms talking about we need to adopt AI, we need to adopt ML, we need to adopt AR, we need to adopt VR. But the meeting starts and one of the board directors comes and says, look, I'll give you a presentation on AI and ML. Can you please call the IT guy to connect the projector? This is exactly the challenge that we face in the boardrooms, and so many times we all have done it, right? As HR professionals, I think the biggest lesson that we learn and the biggest challenge that we see is, how do we create a sense of awareness that technology is not an IT person's job? It's all of our jobs. As HR people, when we go out to the managers and say that, look, people management is not HR's job, it is all of your job. So it's important that we also start creating that story that, look, IT is not someone else's job, technology is not someone else's job, it's all of our jobs put together. And I think why this story is important is because we all are investors here and there, either we invest in stocks, companies, and most of the times we as HR professionals, we invest in relationships. When we say that we are investors, what is one thing that investor looks at? What is that one thing that any angel investor would look at before investing in any company? The angel investor never invests in a product. If let's say tomorrow we are going and buying a share of Mahindra or a Tata, we are not buying that share because we are not going to buy a product of Mahindra or Tata. We are investing in Mahindra's share because we believe in Mahindra's story. So as an HR professional, I think one of the biggest challenges that we have is, how do we create a story within the organization that AI is important, metaverse is important, we need to create stories so that we all start living those stories. So I think that is one challenge that we have in hand, that how do we create stories around it to ensure that we all becomes lead adopter of those in our day-to-day work.
Thank you so much, Mr. Virendra. This is really, the example of iPhone was one of the best, I must say that. So I'm just moving to Mrs. Rishika. The question to you that, how can AI and the metaverse be leveraged to empower the future workforce?
Thank you so much for the question. I'd like to flip a couple of pages and go back to the basics around all of this. Now, we've been talking and we've been hearing a lot about artificial intelligence and metaverse and what have you, but have we kind of broken down the words that we are talking so much about since morning? It says artificial intelligence. The fact is that it is creating a simulated environment. And at the end of it, it should be an aid to any organization. It should not be an addiction as such to any organization, which is why it clearly says, and it hasn't changed its name ever since it began its journey, and it continues to live up to its word and nomenclature of being artificial, which puts us, human resource professionals, on picture that we will be, we are going to be on spot for sharing real life experiences with those who are looking up to us, which is the newer generation like you all over here. So I'm of the, and it's a very, very personal opinion, please don't take me, on this, but I personally feel that it should be an aid, like I mentioned earlier, and that the organizations need to first understand the necessity of inbuilding and building the metaverse and AI with respect to the industries they are a part of. I heard the gentleman, he was talking about being a part of the construction organization. I heard ma'am being a part of the manufacturing setup. I personally have had an, variety of experiences from travel, manufacturing, and now customer service industry. Now, one shoe will not fit all. It's very, very simple. The AI that a customer service organization would require will not fit in what an Infosys or a Wipro or maybe an Airbnb would require at the end of it. Therefore, it becomes very, very important that we break it down internally and understand what aspect of AI or what aspect of metaverse do we want to actually bake in our organizations. And at the end of it, is it going to be beneficial, right? Yes, it is going to provide an assistance and aid, and like Shan ma'am rightly mentioned, that you can provide a simulation around things. You can provide an example, but at the end of it, like sir rightly mentioned, what eventualities actually happen cannot be preempted and cannot be predicted by the machine per se. Because every human and every mind reacts and responds to the same stimuli in a different manner. Basics about science that all of us have learned. But then again, because the advancement of technology is so high, the rate of obsolescence today is so high, we cannot continue using the conventional methods in HR or recruitment or any other verticals of human resource. We need to bake in, but what aspects of it and how we need to do it is very, very industry dependent and organization dependent.
Thank you so much, Rishika. Beautiful answers with beautiful thoughts, I must say that. So my next question to Mrs. Priti. What are the potential risks and challenges that comes with the implementation of AI?
Good afternoon, everyone. I was listening to the first panel, and it was very interesting to see that people in HR are also very aware of the advancement of the AI and how it can be used in HR and in the company perspective. So I was thinking what else I can add, how AI can be used further to improve the learning and the development part of the employees. So if you may allow, ma'am, I can give one example, then I will come to the risk part. So I was thinking, as ma'am has mentioned, like AI can be used as a virtual assistant. So in today's scenario, not everybody can afford a personal human assistant to deal with the routine tasks. So I feel like virtual assistant will be a very good aid to the employees and organization. For example, now the advancement of the generative AI and NLP and conversational AI, it is possible to have a human-like virtual assistant. For example, you can narrate your stories, narrate your tasks, narrate your documents to a virtual AI. It will write down your text into the your speech into, it will convert your speech into the text and it will put down in the document. You can speak in any language you want. AI is now enabled to translate it to the another language. Suppose you are speaking in Marathi and you want the official document to be in English. So you can narrate in Marathi and it can automatically translate and put it in the documents for the employees. And you can give it a subtask also. Suppose you are already managing an AI and machine learning tool. You can give your virtual assistant a task. See, this AI we have been using so far. I have a new data set. Run the simulation, run the AI on this data set and give me the result. So I just want to see one more thing. Like we have all seen the movie Iron Man, right? So in that he has his personal assistant, that Jarvis, right? So he talks to him as he is already there, and whatever he is showing him, that can be an example of the metaverse. Like if he says, show me the location for this this location, show me the environment, how is it? So it can actually simulate and show you the current environment, the scenario, and the metaverse plays a very important role in this thing, that you can interact with that environment. You can give your command to if any person is present there, or you can navigate through the environment using the voice commands and all. So I think that kind of scenario is becoming more and more real nowadays, and it will be available to the mass population, I think, in very recent future. So coming to the, there are so many use cases, and the previous panel has talked about many of them, many part of the example that can be used, but the potential is very vast and very diverse. So coming back to my question, the potential risk and all. So AI is driven by data, as we all know. So the crucial part of the machine learning and artificial intelligence is the data itself. So if there is bias in the data, the AI model, however perfect you try to be, will always come with the bias. And where does this bias come from? It comes from the social bias, the bias the people have in them. I will give you one example that struck me very hard. I was very surprised. Like one person in the US has designed an artificial intelligence tool to for object detection. You know, object detection in the image. That AI tool used to do object detection, like this is a person, this is a chair, this is a bus, car, like that. Okay, so they have trained their AI model for people from the America only, like white people, if you say. That model was not trained on the African American people. So whenever they used to give a picture of African American people, it used to classify it as an animal, like koala, bear, or something else. So that was very shocking. It was a very huge company, I can't say the name, but it was a very good company, a very international, multinational company. When they caught this bug, they apologized publicly. So this is the bias which can remain in the AI model, and we are not aware of that. And in the later state, it can harm, or it can generate very disturbing responses. So we should be aware of that. While using the data for the AI training, we should ensure that data is sampled from very representative group, like every part of the population, every part of the use case scenario should be covered, and that data should be used when you are using and you are training the AI model. And I want to focus on the part responsibility of user also. Like as a user, like as a HR people, if you are going to use the AI tool, you should demand to know where what data was used at the training time, and how representative was the data, how trusted was the data. So this kind of transparency should come. And the user should also know in what context the data was used and what context the AI model was trained, because AI model is trained in some other context and you are using it in some other context, it will not give you the same answer. So that is the most important thing, to remove the bias. It is responsibility of the user as well as the people who are supplying the AI tool. So we should all be aware of this part. So this is number one and a very major risk, and that can be potentially very harmful. And the another part is, of course, the privacy and data security issue. Many people have already talked about it. I will just give you one example. Like we all are having our phone and GPS is enabled in them, right? So what does Google do? Google collect the GPS information, and in the Google map, it shows the location of everybody's GPS location, and on that data, it analyzes and calculates where the higher traffic is there, what is the shortest route, how much time it will take. Okay, that is fine, that is a utility. But if Google or any other company starts to store this information, that GPS location of every person, then it becomes a surveillance. It's not a utility anymore. Okay, so we should be aware of this part also while using or while developing. Ki this data should be very protected. So for this, I think we should enforce this transparency and legal and ethical use of AI. So that is one major issue. Third issue that I want to point out is, I have recently saw the interview of this Google senior VP, Jeffrey Hinton. We call him the godfather of AI also. So he mentioned the issue of fake data. So the kind of advancement that we have seen in recent months, the ChatGPT and this generative AI, what it can do is, it can learn the pattern in the data. If you feed it enough information of the kind of email a certain person can write, so it can quickly like figure out the patterns, how this person writes, how this person thinks. So it can generate the spam email. So it will be so convincing and so realistic that our current spam filtering model won't be able to pick out like this is a fake data. So this is the major issue which he talked about, and I think it is relevant in today's scenario also. It can even generate images and videos also. It will look like it was this photo was taken in the 80s, but it was not taken in the 80s, and the common people will believe that yeah, it must be true. That time the scenario used to look like that. So that can disturb the social environment. So these 3 points I think are the major issues, and the talk has been going on in the international platform and the national platform to enforce the responsible use of AI. So I think we will see the more and more development in this regard in the future. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Priti. It's really knowledgeable things you have shared. So my next question to Mr. Abhishek. In what ways can AI and MetaSir be used to improve employee training and development?
Thank you, Anu. First of all, thank you so much, the first panel, and Shan, you were exceptionally amazing at moderating and contributing to it. I've become a fanboy of you as far as moderation and contribution is concerned. You were exceptionally amazing. A lot has been said and repetition would be crime here. So before I answer the question, maybe 30 seconds or 45 seconds of putting the definitions in front. So I'll divide this entire thing in 2 components. The first component is the tool. When we say the tool, we talk about AI, we talk about everything that is around us that we have made for ourselves or for the world. So if we talk about the tool, you can use the tool or maybe AI to gift your spouse a teddy bear at the right time so that you don't have to remember the anniversary. But you can't have a tool which can love. तो अगर हिंदी में बोलें तो प्यार का व्यवहार किया जा सकता है, प्यार नहीं किया जा सकता. आप प्यार के व्यवहार के लिए बहुत इस्तेमाल कर लीजिए so that you do not get a beating from her or him that you forgot the anniversary or the birthday. So you can have ferns and petal or somebody bring something. You can find out a beautiful poem from the entire world, from the most celebrated poets, but you cannot become Dushyant Kumar or Mahadevi Verma. You cannot become Dushyant Kumar with AI. You can find out the works of Dushyant Kumar by AI, yes, it is possible. You can translate 700 shloks of Bhagavad Gita using AI in maybe 500 languages, but you cannot become Krishna or Arjun. You cannot become that student and the teacher. That's just not possible. That is the tool component of it. Now, a more important component here, the user. When the same user utilizes the same AI and the technology in a different set of works, we have 8,800 crores land animals being killed every year. And AI is being utilized for the same thing. Parallelly, in a lot of countries, AI is being utilized to support people who are mentally or physically disabled. the same AI is doing something else there, and the same AI is doing something else at the other front. Why? Because the man behind the tool is different. The quality of the mind utilizing the same tool is different. It's like the gun. You can kill an innocent one, or you can save an entire community for that matter. So that is on the tool part and on the user part. And not on the patriotic front, but I'm really, really proud to say that I belong to a place, Bharat, which has given a lot of knowledge in terms of Vedanta and Upanishads, which talk about the user and less about the tool. It says tool is dead. It has no value of its own. The user of the tool has value. It will do whatever is supposed to be done. And in India, in Bharat, we have been talking a lot about the user again and again. If there is, as she was mentioning, if there is unconscious bias, AI is not biased. AI is dead. AI is in fact innocent in that sense, because it says I'm artificial. I think Shan mentioned this. AI says metaverse on that front is a little egoist. Metaverse says beyond. I am beyond your world. But AI is quite innocent on that front. After all of it, coming back to the question that Anu asked, a lot of the answer is available on internet. A lot of has been done through AI. We started with psychometric analysis long time back from people who are being recruited, who are a part of the company, training and development. And in fact, even when a person is leaving the companies in an exit interview, a lot of intelligence, artificial intelligence, pattern-based intelligence is utilized to understand what did we not do well that this man is leaving, this woman is leaving. A lot of that is being utilized, a lot of that is there on the internet, but please give a lot of emphasis to the person who is using the tool instead of the tool, and you will find that this tool must come up really well. हम बार बात, कुछ लोगों ने बात करी, एक बैलेंस होना चाहिए, कोई बैलेंस नहीं होना चाहिए. The chief guest said a lot of things I wanted to talk about, but probably the time was getting over. There should be no balance at all. In the hands of the right university, there must be a lot of resources. A university which is based on spiritual thought process, give that university as much resources as possible. But if there is somebody who's jealous, insecure, do not give him anything at all. So there should be no balance. Find out the right person, find out the right mind, and give it everything. Training, development, utilization of AI. Thank you so much.
This is such amazing. I must say that, Abhishek, the examples you have given, these are just amazing. Everybody need it. We should stay from, the negative vibes from our life to get the positive vibes around. So my next question to Mr. Virender Singh. How can HR department ensure that AI and MetaServe technologies are inclusive and accessible to all employees?
I'll just come back to what Abhishek said, and for that I have a question to the audience, and let's see, I'll read out the question, whatever comes to your mind, just speak up. Who do you think has been the greatest cricketer in Indian cricket? Who do you think has been the greatest cricketer till date in the Indian cricket? I'm sure we all have our names. Yeah, you can speak it out loud. Sachin. Indian cricket. Dhoni. Sachin. Saurav Ganguly. I think the list is long, and we all have a list of preferences and all. The irony about when we discuss these cases is, whenever you ask who has been the greatest cricketer in the Indian cricket, I never get to hear Mithali Raj or Jhulan Goswami. Were they not Indian cricketers? The only challenge is we have always been biased towards the male gender more. I think this is one of the biggest things that we as individuals need to remain and break the bias, that cricket doesn't limit to just male gender, right? We all have heard this news recently where the BCCI has made the match fees same for the male as well as the female cricketers. I think that's a very welcome step. I think as an HR professionals, we need to look at examples. These are all around us, and start, and bias was one of the very important topics that Madam moderated in the first panel discussion, that how do you handle that bias as well. Coming back to another topic of discussion, I think since you talked about, some of you said Sachin Tendulkar, it reminds me of a very famous story of Sachin Tendulkar, which I would like to narrate here. This is a story which has been narrated by Gary Kirsten, who was the very famous South African opening batsman and also the coach of the Indian cricket team that won the Cricket World Cup in 2011. And Gary Kirsten says that if Sachin Tendulkar had to go and play, let's say, he assumes that tomorrow I would at least play for 100 balls in the ODI match which is happening tomorrow. And for that 100 balls, he would stand in the nets and practice at least 1500 balls in the nets, because he doesn't want that any ball which he misses out in the nets can become a suicidal for him in the match next day and he may get out. I think that is the inspiration that we all should draw from a cricketer like this, saying that, look, this is where, we understand that as an HR professionals, AI and ML are going to be there, metaverse is going to be there. How prepared are we for that tomorrow? And I think more than that, it's also important to understand that, it's not the organization which is going to transform itself. It's the people who are going to transform the organization. So we as HR professionals needs to understand and let not any stone be unturned, so that we do not have to face an awkward situation tomorrow where we are not prepared for the technology. I'll come to another example here, and for the people who have been into 1980s, they must have heard a very famous band called Van Halen Band. Yeah, it's a very famous band from the US, and if anybody in US had to sign up for Van Halen Band show, they had a 56-page contract. So if you have to sign a Van Halen Band, you have to sign a 56-page contract with them before the show. And in that 56-page contract, somewhere on page 26 or 27, they would write one clause saying that in the green room, please arrange M&Ms, but there should not be any brown M&Ms. We all know what M&Ms are, right? The Indian version of gems. Gems is the Indian version of M&Ms. So, and that 56-page contract was so much detailed that it would write each and everything, including what should be the height of the stage, what should be the decibel of the sound system, what should be the brand of the mic that they are going to use, how far the first row should be sitting from the stage, each and everything in detail. And whenever there was the show, this Van Halen Band team would straight away go to the green room 2 to 3 hours in advance, and they would straight away go to the green room to check if the M&Ms are there, and if those M&Ms are there, then whether brown M&Ms are there or they are missing. If they really found that the brown M&Ms are not there, they would relax and straight away go to the stage and perform, because they knew that the people who are organizing it have read the contract in detail and they do not need to prepare themselves, go and perform. But if they found that the brown M&Ms are still there, they would ensure that this show starts at least half an hour late, so that they check each and everything in detail and then they go and perform. So I think we all need to understand and learn from stories like this, that how do we create avenues where we start going into details. God lies in details. So how do we start looking at details? There's a lot of data around. How do we create those checks and balances as HR professionals and start making a part of it? AI and ML or metaverse, they are big things coming our way. We should not be afraid. For people who are in their 40s, you would have heard that when computers were introduced to the banking system, the bank employees went on strike. They said that they are going to kill our jobs, but did computers kill the banking jobs? No, they eventually increased it far better. So should we be afraid that ML, AI is going to kill our jobs? Certainly not. They would rule out the more monotonous jobs, more operational jobs, but would certainly create more meaningful jobs. So if we are ready to be there, and I think the challenge in the future is not going to be employment. Their challenge is not going to be lack of jobs. The challenge is going to be employability. How will we upgrade ourselves, skill ourselves, reskill ourselves to ensure that we meet those expectations? That's what I thought I would share.
Thank you so much for the amazing answers, and I think everybody is enjoying and listening all the stories what you have shared.
Ma'am, can I add one more point to his answer? Yeah, AI and metaverse and AI related technology we should not be afraid of. In fact, my point of view is, if you are afraid of and you are not learning, some other bad actors are learning this, and it is open source, you know. Right? So when they are doing some bad things, we should be prepared to handle it. And if you are not in that field, if you have not trained for the war, how can you beat them in the war? That's all.
Thank you so much. So my next question to Mrs. Rishika. How can companies balance the benefit of AI and metaserve technologies with the potential risk and challenges that comes with their implementation?
All right. The question itself, feel, is a little biased because it says benefits. I'm not very sure whether it has its benefits only or it has its drawbacks as well. So, like ma'am has rightly spoken about biases, and there's a very detailed discussion that we've had earlier today. I somehow, again, am of the opinion that it could have its benefits as well as its drawbacks. Now, just like Mr. Virinder, I've really become a fan of your storytelling, so I'm going to cheat a little bit from your way and kind of implement it in my points that I've quoted down for this, if with your permission I may. Now, the fact is that we've kind of soaked it in that we have to implement AI. We do not have another way around, like Mr. Virinder said and ma'am said over there, that, you know, it's the advancement in technology that all of us have to walk with. The fact remains, how many of us, like Mr. Virinder rightly mentioned, are prepared for it? Now, in case and only in the event of intentionality can this be implemented, right? All of us, including myself, or maybe if not all of us, I count myself out. I am technologically, what's the word? Challenged. For me, any answer or any solution to any problem is reboot, whether it's an iPhone or a Mac or a system. So my knowledge of technology kind of stops right there, and this is an honest confession I'm making in front of all of you. But the intentionality is there, because we as HR professionals understand that without this, there is no tomorrow. We can't move ahead. We will be left behind in the rat race. The second point that I would like to quote over here is, even though there is an intentionality and there is a way that we can implement AI and metaverse in the general ways that we carry out our HR activities, there are certain aspects that still remain with the humans of human resources. And this is not just to the industry that all of us are a part of. I think it would also be a part of the defense services system, as Sir would rightly say, that when you're in an aircraft and, you know, when you're up in the air and when something goes wrong, I'm not sure how many of us have seen that movie Runway 34. And I'm very, very pro-defense because I come from a defense background, so please pardon me on that again. But the fact is, the decision-making always is a gray area when it comes to machines. And the same thing applies to decision-making in an HR span of things as well. Now, Sir rightly mentioned about the gentleman who was just facilitated, revered and very learned gentleman of your university campus, very, very, wonderful qualities that were narrated about him as an HR professional. Now, those qualities or traits cannot really be fed into a system, cannot possibly be fed into a metaverse, for that matter. Very basics, again, that we and I as a student were taught during my initial days were, there are certain aspects about human resources which continue to be with your mind and heart. Take, for example, your emotional intelligence. The artificial intelligence will be very, very intelligent indeed, because it will function on algorithms and data that is fed into it. But will it operate from parent-child ego state? I have my doubts about it. Will it be able to carry out absolute, immaculate, flawless operations in an organization and operate from a leadership style or a participative or an autocratic kind of a leader state? I doubt it. Which brings me to this another point that I would like to share with all of you, and I'm sure, we witnessed all of it. All of us over here as HR professionals have had those rough waters that we treaded during pandemic. All of us, irrespective of the industry that we're in, we were sitting on a question mark for those 4 months or 5 months that the entire nation was on a lockdown. Why? Because everything switched to a WFH mode. And the most challenging industries that were facing all of this were manufacturing and construction, because you could not build a house sitting at home, right? You had to go out. You could not manufacture a handset sitting at home. The assembly line could not have been set up on your home. In a way, it made working from home possible. Yes, the IT industry boomed. There was a lot of business that came in. Your Zooms of the world, your MS Teams of the world, they encashed on this opportunity, and they still are. But the fact is, after having treaded those paths, after having ran that marathon, people have come to the conclusion that a WFH cannot survive and sustain. You need to have either a hybrid model or a WFO, because the human aspect is getting ignored. All of us during work from home, including myself, would get up. Of course, I'm into fitness, so my routine was a little bit different. I would get up, go for a run, come back, and then probably start off my work. But the fact is that most of the younger population, and even the leadership and the managerial section that I've conversed with, used to tell me that it was very, very mundane and monotonous. You would get up, wash your face, open up the laptops, and start reading your mails. Now that organizations have felt that the human interaction needs to be maintained, you cannot continue working in a silo. You cannot continue working in a one room looking at the four walls. A lot of organizations who have adopted a WFO or a hybrid model today are finding it very difficult. People are finding it very difficult because they have got into that routine of getting up at 10 o'clock, logging into their meals at 12 o'clock, sleeping post midnight. The entire biological clock has gone for a toss. Therefore, it becomes very, very important to understand how is it that we can actually leverage technology to our benefit, or is it actually a challenge that we are entrusting upon ourselves? While we were having lunch, I was going through one of the videos that I saw on LinkedIn today, and it says AI. AI seems to be the only thing that everyone seems to be talking, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, or LinkedIn for that matter. But it was a very short little video, and it was very interesting because it showed a robo, going for a marathon and going spinning, and but then it showed a robo standing outside a restaurant and kind of feeling very, very dejected because in front of him were a group of people sitting and enjoying a drink. Does AI actually help you do that? Will AI ever be able to do that for you? Will you ever be able to have that emotional connect with your family if you're in the metaverse or if you're in the AI-driven kind of a technology? I don't really think so. Hence, the humane aspect of human resources continue to be there, and all of us continue to do the jobs that we are doing today because we think from our mind and heart. A machine will not think from a mind and heart. No matter how much of data, I'm sorry ma'am, but I beg to disagree with your technological advancement because I'm out and out and biased person towards HR. And the fact is that today with the kind of AI-driven conversations all of us are having, it becomes very, very difficult to justify your role among your friends and relatives. They feel, oh my God, you're into HR? You're not a numbers person, you're not a technology person, you're not a marketing person, you're not a sales person, you just sit and take interviews. That's so simple. A robot can sit in place of you and take interviews. What will happen to your job in another 5 months or 5 years from now? How are you doing something to level up and scale yourself? This is the general conversation, and this is the general predicament most of us are in, especially the ones who are in talent acquisition roles or even talent partnering or talent management kind of roles, because people feel HR is very, very limited. Either they make rangolis or they only send out salaries. Or maybe a little extra, they take interviews. It stops right there. There is nothing else that an HR professional does for you, which again is very limited knowledge, because that is what it is. Technology should be used as an aid, and like I said before, it should not be an addiction. It should be used to provide you help and assistance, but it should not become like a thing that you have to do it, when at the end of the day you have to call an IT person to fix your laptop, to set up the projector.
I totally agree, and I totally touched the way you explained what people think about the HR, but I think we should respect. Without HR, I don't think so there is anybody who will understand the emotions of the person who are coming to meet HR for the lot of queries, lot of challenges in the operational things and so many things. So thank you so much for all these amazing answers. So my next question to Ms. Priti: what can we do to deal with the challenges?
I think I already talked about this when I was talking about the potential risk, but 2-3 points I can add it. Like the main revolution which I see with the help of AI and metaverses, I think in the learning and development industry. For example, as Rishita ma'am has said, like it should be used to provide aid to the employees or aid to a person. So in that respect, I would say, I believe some people have already launched this e-tutor concept. We can train a AI model to be a individual tutor. One-to-one tutoring is possible now. Some person has trained an AI model with the mathematics formulas and mathematics logics and everything, and it can provide a one-to-one tuition to a person. So a person can interact with the AI. It can ask it doubts, whatever doubts he has, he can write how this step is done, what logic was used behind this, and the AI can answer it. AI can even correct the answer. Like if a student has submitted the answer in the written form, AI can check and give responses. Like you have applied this formula, it is not correct. Actually, this formula should be used. So I think in this respect, if we see AI, then it will be very useful for us. And when it comes to dealing with the risk, I have already talked about the diversification of data, and we should include many people from the different field also when we are developing an AI tool. So we should take input from the various fields, and I think I don't want to repeat again anything.
That's perfect. Thank you so very much. So the last question for Mr. Abhishek: what impact do you think AI and the metaverse will have on the future of work and the workforce?
The impact is that 70% audience is outside having coffee.
This is really good one. So I think audiences are also listening the same. So they should come inside to listen you. People have less of patience these days. I must say that.
It's not about patience. See, to be honest, let's not put the onus on them.
Yeah.
Let's put it on ourselves.
Yeah.
If we talk sense, and if we involve them, they won't go. Okay. On behalf of Anu, if you have any questions, anything that you want to contribute with, I had this in my mind since a few minutes, but if you have any questions, any point that you would like to support any point with.
I have just one, all you three sitting in the center give all my answer of my questions. Thank you.
Something more about how to you have to ask what data has been used to create the tool, whatever metaverse or artificial intelligence tools you are going to use. And also to understand who is going to use that, okay, it is upon the user as well, as you rightly said. How to be prepared for such risk in more details, if you could just share with more examples.
See, whenever you're asking, you're raising a question, something, around this, you should always say, you should always speculate that the risk is not there, the risk is here. The moment you say, I am the risk, then the deal starts. The moment you say, there is the risk, I am the Superman, let me deal with it. Give me more tools, and that won't help. Because I am the creator of possibility and the risk. So I created the risk, let me deal with myself first. And I might sound a little conventional, and I might go back a few thousand years back, but in order to recognize and deal with any risk, self-awareness is the only solution. Self-deception is the biggest risk. If I think I can pass the interview, but that is in front of my brother and not Shan. And the moment I come in front of Shan, or maybe Rishika, everything drops. That's the reality. That's the moment of realization. But then I would say, ये खराब लोग हैं, भाई को दूंगा. क्योंकि self-deception वहाँ कायम रहेगा. So maybe in order to cater the risks, self-deception, keep it aside. Self-awareness, spend a lot of time, and I think Maharishi University is doing a lot of work as far as self-awareness is concerned.
Big round of applause for that.
Actually.
If I can add and support what Abhishek is saying with another story. This is where I was working with Tata Group, and we were into power plants, so it was Tata Power, and then we were hiring freshers from the campus. And the charge was given to me to lead the campus recruitment for the year 2013 to 2015. I thought I should relook at the process, and then I started figuring it out that if you look at power plant, it works on the concept of a turbine, the typical thermal power plant. And I thought, what is the risk which is there in that thermal power plant? It is a few lives. If something goes wrong, the equipments would go away and few lives would go. What is another biggest challenge than this is an aircraft which also runs on the concept of a turbine. Now, aircraft where the risk is higher because there are 200 people who are boarding and sitting there. And then I thought, what is the difference between a person who is running a power plant and a pilot who is running an aircraft? I went back to the recruitment process. I realized that the people who are running these power plants, we always said that we wanted BTech graduates from at least tier 2 or tier 1 cities, IITs and NITs. And I went back to the pilot recruitment process and I said, what is the minimum criteria to become a pilot? The qualification was +2 pass. The challenge is we are never trying to look at things. If a +2 pass can look at flying a power plant, flying an aircraft, then why do we need a similar kind of a job through a BTech graduate? Sorry. The point that I'm trying to make here is we need to challenge ourselves. As Abhishek rightly said, the risk is not there, the risk is here. If we start challenging ourselves as HR professionals, I think half of the battle is already won.
I'll give a quick example, won't take a lot of time, maybe a minute from here, and answer the question also. Some 12 years back, I went to the classroom where Dr. Bhanu Pratap Singh was, as a professor, he was taking a class, mechanics. So he was taking a class of mechanics first year students. When he came out, we were chatting, we were talking and everything. He had a bundle of tiered pages, and something was written on each page. I said, ये क्या है? कहते हैं कुछ नहीं कुछ भरवाया था. कुछ तो बता दीजिए, इस पे तो नाम भी नहीं लिखा है. So after every class, he used to distribute half page to every single student and the clear instruction was, do not write your name and do not write any appreciation. Write what did not went well, did not go well. And nobody in that campus was, and I know this, nobody in the campus was doing this. He was the only professor who was having students write the gap. And when you go in his cabin, along with the lunch, you will find him looking at the papers. And the next lecture used to be the implementation of what has been suggested. He could have simply said that I have got a lot of experience, a lot of people respect me, and I am done, I'm saturated, I'll just give. I won't find out. So I think for the future workforce, the key is, first of all, relax. Package 10 की जगह 6 का भी होगा तो ठीक है यार, it's okay. First of all, relax. GDP इतनी नहीं बढ़ेगी, बहुत ज़्यादा प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. जिनकी जीडीपी बढ़ गई वहां सुसाइड और बढ़ गए, तो इतना नहीं परेशान होना. इट्स ओके, it's okay, first of all. Second, keep asking yourselves, do not keep yourself under the AC all the time. आपकी शक्ल थोड़ी मेरी जैसी हो जाएगी, it's all right. सूरज में जाओ, थोड़ी विटामिन डी जो मिलेगी, थोड़ा सा पास्ट फेस होना चाहिए. अगर आप बहुत सुंदर दिख रहे हो तो कुछ गड़बड़ है. आप घर से बाहर निकले नहीं हो, आप घर से बाहर निकले नहीं है, तो पहले जो एचआर करेंगे आपके लिए वो बाद में करेंगे. आप पहले घर से बाहर निकलिए. मम्मी पापा छोड़िए. मम्मी पापा के चक्कर में तो पॉलिटिक्स नहीं मिली लोगों को, और वो कुछ और कर सकते थे. तो आप छोड़िए, बाहर निकलिए, सोलो ट्रिप्स पे जाइए, हॉस्टलर में रूम बुक कराइए, डॉम बुक कराइए, और have a great time. 10-10 रुपए में 3 दिन निकालिए. Then you will find how to be an employee and forget entrepreneurship, giving the job. खुद जॉब करनी आती नहीं, आप कैसे दूसरे को जॉब दे देंगे? What are you talking about? आप इससे पहले कि आप डिजाइन थिंकिंग और इनोवेशन को सीखें, उससे पहले आप इंस्ट्रक्शन फॉलो करना सीखिए. एक प्रोसेस एक शानदार ऑर्गेनाइजेशन ने बहुत समय लगा के बनाया है, उसको फॉलो करिए आंख बंद करके. इनोवेशन साइड में रख दीजिए. जब आपका समय आएगा तो आपसे पूछ लिया जाएगा, या आपका कैरेक्टर बता देगा कि आप तैयार हैं. सो फॉलो. देयर हैव बीन ग्रेट पीपल. फॉलो देम अगेन एंड अगेन. AI, metaverse, they'll follow. It's fine.
Yeah. Thank you. I think great insights. So my question to the panel is, my name is Yashwant Chauhan. So my question to the panel is that, we talk about the artificial intelligence, metaverse, and its impact on the HR as a whole, right? So as humans, no technology can be made perfect, right? So obviously, there are so many, systemic biases or the prejudices which all humans have, right? And all these technologies which are being built right across for many years also has those biases. So what do you think are the challenges on the front, and how that can be solved so that the technology can also be adopted in a more meaningful way? Thank you.
So the challenge of the bias, I think there should be a framework, like central framework also, like there's a regulation in every sector, right? If it is a hospital or it is a manufacturing unit, so there are some central structure that needs to be followed. So if you let AI run freely, it will go wild. We don't know where it will go. So I feel there should be some sense of central structure or guidelines that should be followed. And I can tell you that I am a member of Bureau of India Standard also. So at national level and at the international level also, people are trying to standardize the use of AI, like what we can call a responsible AI, what we can call a ethical AI. So I think that is the need of the hour, that needs to be in place. So that is one thing. And at the user, I want to add, like the decision making power should never go to the AI. like in the perspective of HR also, if you are using an AI tool to assess the performance of an employee, it should be limited to give you a report. Like, yeah, this person has achieved this much, and this is the evidence of that. This person has improved his ability, and this is the evidence for that. But you should not tell the AI to fire a person, right? You should take a decision. AI has suggested like this many people are there, which are candidate to be fired. So let's take their records and just match it if it is correct. So there should be always human present in the loop. So that is my point. You can use it to assist your work, your mundane work, like report generation. You want to know what the document is about, you can give it to AI. Okay, tell me, summarize the document and tell me a quick summary what this document is about. So it can read the summary also to you. You can use it as assistant, but the decision making, the human should always be there. I think in that way we can limit the risk of the AI going forward. Thank you.
Sorry, I just want to add to what ma'am
Sure.
said. I'm very pro HR, so sorry. I will always kind of encash on that opportunity to promote HR as a function and a field. If I may just add to what ma'am said, there can be a centralized structure, but at the end of it, they can only be illustrative. They can't be exhaustive. So whatever examples, whatever simulations are fed into the system, they should be illustrative in nature. As simple as a list of questions that interviewers get. They are illustrative. They can't be the exact way A person is interviewing or B person is interviewing. And in the same regard, on the human aspect that she rightly mentioned, that AI will definitely go wild if it is given all the decision-making authority. The fact is that there was a massive layoff, kind of a quarter and, H1 that all of us witnessed and we observed and we saw. It was everywhere. It was out in the papers, LinkedIn, etc., etc. There was one very noble philanthropist, and of course, all of us know who I'm referring to. He took the onus on himself to hire all the people who were laid off. So that aspect of human technology or human resources is something that we're talking about. Even though, the other organization and the big fours and the big fives decided to let go of people who had been with the organization for decades, there was this one very gentle, noble philanthropist who said that, okay, never mind. I will create positions for you. You come and join my organization. Now that human touch is something that an AI may not necessarily have into picture.
So before closing this discussion, I have a question to all the senior HR people here. What, according to the organization, what role we play as a recruitment consultant? What is the feedback, what is the support we get to give the manpower? So what is the thought about the organization to hiring a recruitment consultant? If anyone can just be the support to the recruitment agencies, because we have seen that we are working so hard, we are sending so many people, and then out of, if we are sending top 10 CVs, maybe one selection, maybe 0 rejection. So many things we face. So what support system companies feel for the recruitment consultant?
Ma'am, आजकल तो हमारे को mandate आ रही है cost cutting की.
Exactly.
They are telling us zero vendor support internally अपने internal referrals या फिर खुद जद्दोजहद करके खुद get those CVs in place. No vendor partners. So to be very honest, I think you're working in a space you have to be relevant. So for any business, or anything in the world will remain relevant till that, everything has its expiry date and you have to evolve as a business also. So I remember when Nokia had come in, when I was in first year in college, we never used to have mobile phones, okay? Yeah. And I remember I got a second-hand mobile phone from my grandfather. And, I used to hide it under my, in my almirah. And, I'll take calls in the evening from my mom. And that time even, normal calls were pretty expensive. I think it was 7 rupees or something a minute or something like that. So now from that time to today, where calls are almost free, okay? Where, remember we used to have BlackBerry phones which used to have a lot of keys. Yes. And there was a time when, the cost of the phone was directly proportional to the number of keys on it. And imagine today we have mobile phones which have no keys in them. It's touch screen. So it was somebody's imagination, Mr. Steve Jobs to be precise, who imagined that let's make a mobile phone which does not depend on the key. And the keys can be changed according to the language. So you basically have to change the way the business works. So you cannot remain the time where you're working with resumes and trying to send across.
So that's why we change the industry, what they need us.
No, I don't have to answer that. You have to answer it for yourself. You need to change your game.
Yeah.
So that's my 2 cents on it. People
So this is really, thank you so very much for this answer. It was just my touch to all the people because I keep meeting to a lot of HR personnel, and if we are getting the position in the night and we have to give them in the morning, we are there. So this is the strong system we have managed with our AB Consulting. So thank you so much to Sir and the Maharishi University trusting us to joining hand. Thank you so very much. I recently had an exclusive interview with Sir, and I'm sure we're going to play very soon. It was just an amazing, amazing time and amazing thoughts from the Sir. Thank you so very much.
Before we close this discussion, I just want to tell you this. That we are talking about AI, ML, we're talking about technology evolving, but at the end of it, who's the creator of it?
The humans.
Are humans, or rather human mind. Okay, until we learn to master that, I think we should not even really get into this space. पहले अपने आप को तो जीत लो. उसके बाद जिस दिन आप वो जीत लोगे ना, I think world is sky is the limit. They used to talk about a Rishi Munis. Apparently, we're talking about telescopes and very high technology in today's era, but there used to be a Rishi Munis who apparently talked about solar system thousands of years ago. Okay, and they apparently used to travel in time. Their Atma used to travel in time, and have seen those things in space. So they were using a technology which is beyond and above what we can even create. So I think how much ever we might debate about it, we can go on and on and on and on. But I think at the end of it, humans will always be at the forefront. And we as humans have to first win ourselves. Really, that is the space. I think the world is just your imagination. Okay, so at the end of it, it's for us to win ourselves. Baki sab hota rahega. This is all our own creation.
they are still working on a human mind. तो आप ये सोचो जब अभी तक इंसान ने इंसान के दिमाग को नहीं समझा है तो एक AI can be coded and it's a documentary for 7 weeks and keep watching on it. They are cutting layer by layer of human mind head, means layer by layer of I don't know what. It's an amazing documentary. So it is all out of mind and AI is zero, completely zero. It is your assistant, just like a servant. Chai pani laake de do, that's it, nothing else. Data center kar do, that's it. But you can't be a boss. You can't be a man.
So in this intersection of AI, metaverse and HR, we completely have a winner, and that is HR. As the human. And there is a saying which say there is nothing new under the sun. जो आज हम बातें कर रहे हैं वो हजारों सालों पहले हो चुकी हैं, जो आज हम डिस्कवर कर रहे हैं वो हजारों सालों पहले डिस्कवर हो चुका है, और जिन टेक्नोलॉजीज के बारे में आज हम बात कर रहे हैं या जो आ रही हैं, we are not even scratching the surface, we are way beyond our depth. The minds who have lived over the years, आज उन सब माइंड्स की बदौलत ही ये ह्यूमन एवोल्यूशन यहाँ तक आया है जहाँ तक आया है. So wherever we may go, we are never going to forget where we have come from. And I guess as much technological advancements we are having, we have kept on coming back to one basic essence, that स्क्रीन के एडिक्शन को ठीक करने के लिए भी एक डॉक्टर ही चाहिए, और माँ बाप अपने बच्चे को उसी डॉक्टर के पास लेके जाते हैं उस स्क्रीन के डी एडिक्शन के लिए. वहां पे कोई और एआई उस एडिक्शन को ठीक नहीं कर सकता. तो इंसान की टच को, उसकी वार्मथ को, मुन्ना भाई एमबीबीएस में एक जादू की झप्पी का कॉन्सेप्ट था. वो जादू की झप्पी जब एक माँ अपने बच्चे को जब एक बाप अपने बच्चे को मारेगा वो सिर्फ तभी आ सकती है, और वहां पे शायद कोई AI कभी नहीं आ सकता. एंड टू दैट स्पिरिट ऑफ बीइंग ह्यूमन, लेट्स गिव अ राउंड ऑफ अप्लॉज फॉर आवर mankind and for the evolution we have had. And on this note, I would like to call upon stage our Vice Chancellor, Dr. Bhanu Pratap Singh, to please felicitate the panelists, please. देखो अब तो खाना बैठ चुका है. And by the way, she is the one जिन्होंने पेरेंट्स से अवगत कराया है AI के, so इनके लिए ज्यादा बड़ी तालियां बननी चाहिए.
For you to go.
और हम सबको सर के साथ हॉस्टलर में जाना है और एक दिन की ट्रिप पे जाना है. We are going to go under the sun. The way he made sure every point is landed bang on, it's like wow. Nar has been absolutely phenomenal. Actually, like, you know, even having the audacity and like that humility to take on from the counterpart कि अच्छा सर मैं आप बड़ा अच्छा कर रहे हैं मैं ले लेती हूँ, ठीक है. And then she nailed it that as well. That's her learning prowess.
All three panelists are really banged on.
हम शान की बात कर रहे थे, उन्होंने बोला अच्छा सिर्फ उनकी बात हो रही है, इसके बाद अब मेरी भी होगी. Thank you so much. May I please request the panelists to go on your seats. Thank you so much. And now हम जिंदगी को ना एक खेल बोला जाता है कई बार कि जिंदगी तो एक खेल है, सारे खेलते हैं. और आज एक व्यक्ति है जिसने उस खेल को असली में खेला हमारे सामने. And none other than someone who shared his words of wisdom through a game. And I would like to call upon stage our Director General, Group Captain O.P. Sharma, to please share his knowledge with us. And please, sir, on the stage. Can we have a huge round of applause for him?
तुम्हारा नाम क्या है?
Varun.
Dear friends,
Sir, good evening.
I like it, Neil. The question which has been posed to all panelists, eminent panelists, that what could be the role of HR with reference to AI, metaverse, and all connected processes. I have few things to convey. With my background as HR person, with the backdrop of law, literature, and management, for last 60 years, what I have learned is this, and I wish to convey to you, more so as part of HR Conclave. First thing first, we must not react, we must respond. The difficulty arises with regard to particularly for any new innovation, we react. And when we react, there is a sense of fear. There is a sense of apprehension. In case we respond, there will be a sense of appreciation. We are HR people, so my intelligent students from our university, we know it. that the difference between reaction and response is only of 30 seconds. Not much difference. Anything coming to you, do not jump to the conclusion. Wait. And wait for the purpose of judging it. And judge it, AI, with reference to your NI. Your NI is natural intelligence. And when you judge it with NI, remember, there are few processes immediately coming to your rescue, coming to your help. And one of them is intellectual enlightenment. Our key speaker talked of EQ, IQ, SQ. Really speaking, it is only SQ. EQ and IQ are part of SQ. Each one of us is constituted of three things. We all know it, very elementary. Mind, body, and soul. Dear friends, it's not the mind which controls you. It's the mind which is already wild. Because your SQ has allowed that mind to be wild. Your soul should be able to direct your mind. And dear friends, what do we do? In the university, we do it through Bhavatit Dhyan, transcendental meditation, where mind is put to rest. And your soul ultimately takes charge of your mind, and apparently mind controls the body. And it is the awakened soul, not soul in slumber. यूं तो सब कुछ बदल रहा है जमाने में, यूं तो सब कुछ बदल रहा है जमाने में, पर अफसोस है आदमी इंसान नहीं बनता. HR, ह्यूमन रिसोर्स, इंसान बनाने की कला है. और ह्यूमन को कन्वर्ट करना होगा आपको ह्यूमन में. HUMAN got to be respelled. HUMANE. Human must be human. Please take it from me, not AI, not ML, not metaverse. No technology can be a problem for we people in the HR, provided we have our open mind. If we continue to work what we have learned with a closed mind, it's a problem. Keep your mind open. How to control the mind? I want each one of you to take it from me. The concept that we have been practicing in our schools, Maharishi Vidyamandir schools, as well as in Maharishi University, here and also abroad. And that concept is, number one, philosophically accept that each one of us is in the mold of godliness. ईश्वर ने आपको अपना प्रतिबिंब बना के भेजा है. फिर AI क्या, कुछ भी आ जाए? मुझे चुनौतियों से मुलाकात हो जाने की चाहत है. मुझे चुनौतियों से मुलाकात हो जाने की चाहत है चट्टानों से टकराने की. और टकरा कर अपने पतवार को परखने की चाहत है। As HR, remember, it's a challenge. You are dealing with the human resource, and you are the human resource yourself first. Remember, in any situation, think that you are dealing with yourself. Whether it's the selection process, entry process, or the development process to training, or the exit process, whatever it may be, you are dealing with yourself. The other person is also part of you, is like you, is also in the same mold of godliness. Since that is so, we fail to transfer our godliness into action. Why? It is because of our helplessness. Don't cultivate helplessness. We will be able to manage everything. As the situation arises, we must withstand the pressure of the situation. The second postulate is that you are your friend and you are your foe. आप अपने मित्र हैं और आप अपने शत्रु हैं. It's a fact. I have tried all this for these so many years. I just completed my 86th birthday. And believe me, every moment I take it, it's a testing moment for me. ओम प्रकाश, रोस्टम पे पोडियम पे जाके खड़े हो रहे हो आज, बोलोगे एआई और मीटू वर्षा. पहले तैयारी कर लो, पढ़ के आ जाओ, समझ लो. एमिनेंट पैनलिस्ट आ रहे डिफरेंट कंपनी से. And moment you take it, the task ahead is my test. Remember, nobody can defeat you. You will be the winner, winner, and the winner. How to control the mind? People talked in particular that our scriptures provide, that our saints, munis, rishis, they did all this. What science and technology is doing today, it did exist earlier. Friends, it's a fact of life. Even today there are people who be disciplining the body. First requirement. Controlling the mind and awakening the soul are doing wonders even today. It is because they have controlled the mind. And the only process of controlling the mind is the meditation. We, based on what our Maharishi said, have this technique known as transcendental meditation. Process is very simple. What is the process? You must reduce the mental activities by being silent. Reduce the mental activities. मुश्किल काम है. But when you are in a silent mode, the mind is put to rest. Zero activity of mind. Then soul gets awakened. And your creative intelligence is in full play. I have authored 25 books. And dear friends, I want to tell you, I did it while doing nothing. When I say, I mean it. A pen and a diary on my bedside. When nothing to do, pick up the pen and pick up the diary and keep writing there. And result has been 25 books. This doing nothing is again same meditative mood while doing nothing. Mind is at rest and creative intelligence is in full play. All issues of life are soluble. There is nothing which we can't do. Accept this fact and continue working, and whatever this event, HR Conclave, and our team, of course, VC is always there as the brain behind all these activities. But our placement head, come Vijay, our Dean Academics, Trapti, Dr. Smita, Deputy Dean, Sunil Mishra, and many more, including most honored panelists. It is their contribution and my contribution has been nil. I have been just invited कि सर आगे कुछ बोलना है. बोलने की तैयारी वाला part, yes, I have done. So all of you might have, with my blessings, God bless. Thank you.
Wonderful, sir. I really wish that, if this is doing nothing, we all would like to do nothing and be a part of that. And as we say that, many things can be done through technology. And many inspirational quotes can be heard from different people. And some of the panelists said that, आप गीता का सार तो 500 भाषाओं में कन्वर्ट कर सकते हैं, ट्रांसलेट कर सकते हैं, लेकिन उस सार को जी पाना या ना जी पाना आपके ऊपर है. उसी प्रकार जिस ईज से सर ने यहाँ खड़े होके अपने बारे में बता दिया या जो विजडम दे दी, ये हम एक रिकॉर्डिंग में भी सुन तो सकते हैं, लेकिन क्या उसका ये इम्पैक्ट आएगा? आप लोग बताइए, क्या वो आएगा? एंड सर, टू दैट सिंप्लिसिटी ऑफ योर्स, to that originality of yours, and that cute, isn't it cute? Like, isn't it cute, really cute? So just to that, a huge round of applause here. Oh my God. And with this, okay, so now, throughout this, we have heard about what Maharishi University has done, and I guess, the epitome of the knowledge or where it has passed on, we are seeing that which is the source of that fountain. So if the source is like this, we are sure the droplets, how they are going to be. गंगा नदी से निकलते, अगर वो पानी जब निकलता है, तो वो तब भी गंगा जली कहलाता है, चाहे वो घर में आके उसे एक प्लास्टिक की बोतल में ही रखा क्यों ना जाए, तब भी उसे हर हवन पे छिड़का जाता है और हर जगह पे यूज किया जाता है. इसी प्रकार, now the other partner in today's event, who have really worked diligently, and I guess because of whom, I am also here. I have been blessed enough that some right people saw me at the right places, and I am today here, part of this amazing Goshti of these amazing people. And as His Excellency said, that पढ़े लिखे व्यक्तियों के साथ टाइम स्पेंड करना जिंदगी का सबसे हसीन पल हो सकता है, और आप लोगों के साथ ही हसीन पल बिताने को मिल रहे हैं, ये मेरा सौभाग्य है. And I would like to call on stage the other partners for the Core HRIR group, Mr. Bhanu Pratap from Core HRIR group to present about Core HR. Can we have a huge round of applause for him, please?
To sum it all, it's a delight being amongst the superstars, stars, sun and the moons. We have been delighted enough to be partnering Maharishi University to introduce. My name is Kuwar Bhanu Pratap Singh, working as a group HR leader for a market research and an NBFC conglomerate, and a profound member of Core HRIR group. So not taking much of the time, I'll just like to introduce the group. So basically the ethos being of the Core HRIR is networking, brainstorming, collaborating of course, sharing and learning. That is what is the crux of it. Objective about so far. So objective is being a global HR network. So we are tied up with HRCI, being their global partner for India representation of taking care of the HRCI programs in Pan-India. 12,000 plus HR professionals, thought leadership, certification partners with HRCI, globally connected, again sharing knowledge. And that is all for not for a profit. In fact, to reconnect on the artificial intelligence, I guess for the past 3 years we are running a job portal wherein it is already AI enabled. We are parsing resumes and helping corporates placing our members there. That is also for not for profit. The founders, the team members, the companies we have members from, the journey so far. This is the core journeys that we are kind of running as of now. Core learning weekends, it is again a webinar series. Chai Buddy series is a physical meet we are doing. HR masterclass is a workshops that is not into only andragogy, it is a pedagogy kind of a connect. Core Connect, wherein we kind of do mentorship programs, HR analytics workshops, certification classes, core career centers, mega HR conclaves, learning weekend webinars, shining reports that we do annually. Then we have candid conversations. We bring on board many people from the industry and academia and kind of get insights from on their journey so far. 2017, a humble beginning with me and Veer meeting at Tyagarajan Sir's Faridabad Management Association's program. The day we discussed, and this is how we reached today. A strong community of 12,000 people, and many of them members of ours. Few glimpses of what we have done so far, major snapshots. And these creatives to tell is also my baby. So I do the design part apart from being a HR professional also. Think tanks, Shining HR Awards, Mega HR Conclaves, the webinar series. This is the latest one, I guess, with Dr. Swapna Lekha. Learning weekend webinars, you can track and trace our movements on LinkedIn. You can track and trace our movements on YouTube. Social media presence, YouTube, Telegram, Core HRIR website, Facebook, and LinkedIn. So as again I have said, the crux is only networking, collaborating, learning, diminishing. Thank you all. It's been a great learning, I guess, with panelists, Veer, Praveen, other sirs, Dinesh, Rekha, Preeti, everyone. And it was a day well passed, I guess. Everybody enjoyed. In terms of learning, I have gained personally many insights in terms of AI, ML, certain things I knew, certain things I kind of learned today. I got avid, he has earned my patronage in terms of Shero Shairi also. So I'll try to gain some on that part also from sir. And again, to the humbleness of Bhanu Pratap ji, thank you. So there are two people again by my same name in this, from the HR Bhanu Pratap and from the academy as Bhanu Pratap. Chalo, thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much. And now, taking it forward, when we come to any event, we always think कि इवेंट तो सामने जो हो रहा है वो हो रहा है, लेकिन उसके पीछे की जो बुद्धि लगती है, जो विवेक लगता है, ठीक है, वो बहुत सारे व्यक्तियों का लगता है. And before honoring those people who have literally put their heart out, जिसकी वजह से शायद आप लोग भी आज यहाँ पे हैं, because it's not easy to call people at one place on a particular day, because everyone, specifically given the job profiles we are in, everyone is busy, everyone has some work or the other to do, and people have really invited from heart, and that's why you have come, I guess. You feel that there is value in this event. And one person whom I feel that without whom it must not have been possible at all. So I would like to call upon stage our Vice Chancellor, Dr. Bhanu Pratap Singh, to please say the word of thanks, please.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, everyone. It's my honor on behalf of Maharishi University to be a part of the gathering. Honorable DG sir, senior HR members from different companies, faculty members, dear students. Imagining of this HR conclave is that from starting at 10:32 till now, everybody is engaged in each activity and participating in each and every aspect of different subject or object we have discussing and defining for future. There is two requests for each and everyone, especially from the HR members, because there is a time in near about 95 to 2000, if we talk about the engineering, there are number of branches, mechanical, civil, electrical, and some sort of computer science is starting, and things are going on their pace. But as the global requirement or the requirement on the national level or societal requirement, the branch just like computer science and engineering, IT, these are booming up in year about 2005 as per the job requirement in the market. I think there is a time in that 2005 and 2015, the recruiter just like TCS, Infosys, they recruited near about 25,000 to 30,000 GT of BTech, especially computer science and different branches. But there is a time just from the Infosys, San ma'am was also saying, and in other company just like Amazon and different another IT company, there is a time of detachment. So there is a gap between the industry, market, job requirement as a part of just like a skilling. So there is a time of National Education Policy 2020, in that part, things are changing in different prospect, just like multidisciplinary requirement and different level. So things may be changed in coming years because there is no need, we can say, or very less need with respect to core branches, just like mechanical, just like civil, electrical and chemical engineering. There may be a requirement of future with major and minor degree, major skill and core skill, and minor skill. So as the things go beyond our control with respect to market, we have to minimize the gap, because syllabus and different type of board of studies for the different university level are going on as per new education policy. So there is a request to each and every HR, what are the basic requirement with respect to IT to emerge in mechanical, in civil and other core branches. So we can adopt these requirement of the market, because you are the core member between the market and between the industry and the academic. We can minimize gap as earliest as possible, so things go not beyond our control. As in the IT sector, there is a major requirement. In future, they are doing the job very less. So it is a request to each and everyone to give the feedback of the market requirement, so we can change, we can adopt, we can change in the manner of major and minor core requirement with respect to mechanical, with respect to civil, with respect to chemical and different type of a sector also. So as earliest you give us the feedback to our university and other university, we can adopt as earliest as possible and minimize the gap. And another request is that each and everyone are requested to come visit our campus, Noida campus as well as Lucknow campus whenever you get time. We are in touch with you. Thank you everyone to joining us. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. And absolutely, when the HR people visit the campuses and the students and the university organizes such kind of events, that's where वो जो संगम बोलते हैं ना, अलग अलग नदियों का संगम होता है, तो एक अलग ही रंग निकल के आता है. तो वो रंग यहीं से निकलता है जब ये गोष्ठियां ऐसी प्लान की जाती हैं. Now, before further delay, I would like to call upon stage certain people whose work, whose hard work and whose dedication has been really inspirational in what they have done. So I would like to call upon stage our business development head, Mr. Neil, our head HR, Mr. Sunil Mishra, head TNP, Mr. Vijay Bishwas sir, IT team, Mr. Javed sir, social media team, Mr. Salman Sajid, admin team, Kamshad sir, and on behalf of Tripti Agarwal, I would like to call on Ms. Avakash Mishra. Avakash Mishra, can you please come in the center? And I would like Veer sir, VC sir, and our Director General sir to please felicitate them for their efforts and the event they have, Acknowledgement is that key which keeps people working hard. And now I would request our all of you please move to your seats. Thank you. And now I would like to request Veer Bharat sir to please felicitate our VC sir and our Director General sir, please. Thank you so much, everyone.
सलमान सर सलमान
अरे यादें हैं ये
We will have the group photo in the end, don't worry. आपने हमें कैप्चर किया, हम आपको कैप्चर कर रहे हैं. लोगों को दोबारा एफर्ट करना पड़ेगा. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And now kindly sit down. And this is one of those few rare times where the intentions have matched the actions. And as few of you have asked what do I do? So I would like to, just tell 30 seconds about myself, that I am a trainer. I use theatre as a tool to provide experiential trainings for the corporates, for colleges, for universities, for hospitals. Because I believe motivation चाय के साथ ठंडी हो जाती है, लेकिन experience ताउम्र आपके साथ रहता है. And for making sure that if any company has to succeed, there is only one thing which can make that company succeed, and that's the people. And that's where I focus, that's where my company focuses on. And given that it's an experiential space which we provide through fun activities, because as humans we love fun. हर कोई बच्चा बनना चाहता है. और जब हम बेसिक एलिमेंट्स पे काम करते हैं, माइंड, बॉडी, सोल, हम जितना उनके ऊपर काम करते हैं, उतना ही हम अपनी कंपनीज को, अपने सिस्टम्स को आगे लेके जा सकते हैं. और कोई भी एआई किसी सिस्टम को, किसी कल्चर को असिस्ट कर सकता है, स्ट्रीमलाइन कर सकता है, लेकिन कल्चर बिल्डिंग की पावर आज भी इंसानों के पास है और वो हमेशा रहेगी. So this is Varun Kapoor from Humans Without Walls, which is also my company name, and which is also what my intention is. ऐसे इंसान क्रिएट करना जो बिना दीवारों के हों, ना सिर्फ बाहर की बट अंदर की. And that's where we help companies to form their culture, to make sure that employee engagement goes up, where we make sure that universities employability goes up, because all that personality traits which needs to be there to make sure that you are employable, and for the company that profitability comes early, and you are not a liability for a longer period of time. Thank you so much. This is Varun Kapoor signing off, and you can join us for the tea. And let's say hip hip! Hip hip! Come on! Thank you everyone. अच्छा सुनो, यार आखिरी ताली है, बढ़िया से मार लेते ना खड़े होके. I can call upon people for a group photograph. Please everyone come this side. Let's have a group photograph and let's have the remembrance of this.